And he took the damsel by the hand and said unto her, Talitha cumi, which is, being interpreted, damsel, I say unto thee, arise. Wake up! Wake up! Talitha cumi. Talitha cumi. Wake up! Wake up!
Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek.
Yo, resurrected, elected from the grave. I ain't worried about a demon defeating me, not today. I'ma stand on my feet with the meek. We on the way, dry bones in the valley. I'm rallying for the save. Dry bones in the valley, living but underpaid. Holy Spirit, make your presence known. We need change. Holy Spirit, make your presence known. We feel shame. Holy Spirit, make your presence known. We need flames.
As hard as these words is simply just the canvas that I wrote on. Can't supplement the faith, no creatine, but it's so strong. In our youth, we used to hit the block, getting our roll on. Now we take the gospel to the blocks we so dope on. Those that tried to stop our faith, we told you so long. The rise of my people with these heathens trying to prolong. Been through so much, but we still gotta hold on. Like back when the lights was off, we turned the stove on. Searching for warmth in these cold streets. Oh, since we woke up the truth, we can't get no sleep. My thoughts so deep, trying to get my folks to see the picture, but we hitting rock bottom, trying to wrestle with the scriptures. It's crazy, demonic forces messing with your mental health. Got all five senses, but you still lack sense of self. Without the Lord, your life sagging. Gon' get a belt, and like that old Jordan commercial, stop and get some help.
Please, W-A-K-E-U-P, open up your KJV. We shaking up the world so you can't stay asleep. When you open up your eyes, they see IUIC, we on our grind. Bring a light to the world, let a star shine. So we pray without ceasing for our kind. Gotta stack them up to the third heaven till we give Raphael a hard time.
Dead bodies, dead conscience, dead presidents, they said commas. But that's a coma, ain't the evident, that's head trauma. They said a lot, but that's irrelevant. The devil been working overtime without the scheduling, the medicine prescribed. That's the word of my God. You'll never be alive unless you let the spirit inside. Vampires throw the shade on them, but day walkers keep the blade on them. Get cut to the core but never fade on them. Live again.
Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber, wake up out of your sleep, and receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek.
Took a minute, yeah. About time I committed.
Hard times felt like giving up, but your love kept me winning. Don't hesitate, got to make haste. Oh yeah, just set your pace into the race. Oh yeah, you were always my day one. You have shown me where I'm from. This is why I need your love.
Stay. Many mansions, how we get to this place. Follow the signs, look at the gates. Name on the list, don't be late. Guys on earth, we here to stay. Many mansions, how we get to this place. Follow the signs, look at the gates. Name on the list, don't be late. I wanna live forever. How long forever? I wanna live forever. How long forever? I wanna live forever. How long forever? I wanna live forever.
Before the beginning of time, heavenly, divine. This was the image of mine, God, body, and design. Poetry in the motion, now it's starting to align. Every detail defined, I like a line upon line. Whoa, this is the way, this is the truth, this is the light. Talking about Christ, wisdom in the beginning of life, winning the fight. And that's thus say the Lord moving forward. Look at how it glitter on his sword. 144K points on the board. Only thing we're looking for is forever.
Guys on earth, we here to stay. Many mansions, how we get to this place. Follow the signs, look at the gates. Name on the list, don't be late. Guys on earth, we here to stay. Many mansions, how we get to this place. Follow the signs, look at the gates. Name on the list, don't be late. I wanna live forever. How long forever? I wanna live forever. How long forever? I wanna live forever. How long forever? I wanna live forever. How long forever?
I want the glory. I want the grace. I need that wisdom to shine, illumination of the face. I need that forever love, the kind that never fade away. Cause I'm here to stay. Reach them go to gates. Now it's time, open up, let righteousness shine, fill up the cup. Cause I can't imagine a place that I'd rather be than to sit with the anointed king. Throne of wisdom, throne of power. No more rain, no more showers. Awaiting glory, more than flowers. Live forever, say it loud.
welcome back, welcome back. I'm your host, Old School X at 9, and this is Surreal Sundays. Tonight, we're going to be getting into the subject, can we trust AI? Let's have a real talk on race and technology. Yeah, so what we're getting into, we're going to start off with a little bit of history of AI and go into what they're going over some terrifying behaviors of AI. So they are starting to experience troubles with AI. We're going into that, and we're going to go into how AI is impacting the African American community. All right. So we got that. We got Super Sundays, Surreal Sundays, Super Snatch shenanigans. We got a story about that lady being accused of deleting their 3-year-old, and we got this week's tidbit in health, talking about hypertension and that hot video at the end of the show. So stay tuned. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's get it.
You are now listening to some old school shit. All right. Welcome back to Surreal Sundays. So we're gonna be getting into the history of AI to jumpstart the conversation tonight, and getting into some uh, weird behaviors, some stuff that is concerning, very concerning to those who are controlling AI and what have you. Um, But before we do that, let's get into the chat. Let's get into the chat. We got Mrs. O. Mrs. O is in the house. Yeah. Mrs. O is in the house.
She don't sugarcoat, she break it down real slow.
All right. So far, that's who we got in the chat tonight. So, all right. So like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Okay. All right. So first, we're going to get into the godfather of AI. All right. Off of a 60-minute documentary
And we're going to hop right into it, all right? Give me a minute to fix the video ownership of this right quick. All right.
Does humanity know what it's doing?
No. I think we're moving into a period when, for the first time ever, we may have things more intelligent than us.
You believe they can understand?
Yes.
You believe they are intelligent?
Yes.
You believe these systems have experiences of their own?
Well, let me start over right quick as a brief introductory to who's speaking.
And so change the world. Hinton believes that AI will do enormous good, but tonight he has a warning. He says that AI systems may be more intelligent than we know, and there's a chance the machines could take over, which made us ask the question.
The story will continue in a moment.
Does humanity know what it's doing?
No.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I think we're moving into a period when, for the first time ever, we may have things more intelligent than us.
You believe they can understand?
Yes.
You believe they are intelligent?
Yes.
You believe these systems have experiences of their own and can make decisions based on those experiences?
In the same sense as people do, yes.
Are they conscious?
I think they probably don't have much self-awareness at present. So in that sense, I don't think they're conscious.
Will they have self-awareness, consciousness?
Oh, yes. I think they will in time.
And so human beings will be the second most intelligent beings on the planet?
Yeah.
Jeffrey Hinton told us the artificial intelligence he set in motion was an accident born of a failure. In the 1970s at the University of Edinburgh, he dreamed of simulating a neural network on a computer, simply as a tool for what he was really studying, the human brain. But back then, almost no one thought software could mimic the brain. His PhD advisor told him to drop it before it ruined his career. Hinton says he failed to figure out the human mind, but the long pursuit led to an artificial version.
It took much, much longer than I expected. It took like 50 years before it worked well. But in the end, it did work well.
At what point did you realize that you were right about neural networks and most everyone else was wrong?
I always thought I was right.
So Hinton came across this by mistake. Kind of sounds similar to the atom bomb, the beginning of the nuclear technology. It stumbles right across it. And he mentions that he believes that this thing can eventually have self-awareness. Okay. And he believes that this thing can actually have become greater than us. Now, this is speculation, my opinion, but I was meditating on this, and it kind of go in line with the overall agenda to moving the world to a one world government, one world religion. Okay. That's just what I'm thinking. And this AI will be this world's God. To create something like, but how he's saying this is this AI will ultimately be over us, the creation over the creator. That's like the movie Matrix. Terminator. RoboCop. So kind of a daunting thing to think about, that they have created something that they're putting out in the air that won't have any control, will gain self-awareness and ultimately be more intelligent than us. Yeah, there's plenty of movies out there that depict the same thing, that idea, and what have you. So that's a very daunting thing to have going on, and what have you. I don't believe that will come to full fruition, because I believe in the Most High, and what have you. If you stay till the end of the show, where I will present some scriptures that will defute what ultimately Mr. Hinton is presenting. Okay. Go over to how AI works.
AI does it. Hinton and his collaborators created software in layers, with each layer handling part of the problem. That's the so-called neural network. But this is the key. When, for example, the robot scores, a message is sent back down through all of the layers that says that pathway was right.
Likewise, when an answer is wrong, that message goes down through the network. So correct connections get stronger, wrong connections get weaker, and by trial and error, the machine teaches itself.
You think these AI systems are better at learning than the human mind?
I think they may be, yes. And at present, they're quite a lot smaller. So even the biggest chatbots only have about 1 trillion connections in them. The human brain has about 100 trillion, and yet, in the trillion connections in a chatbot, it knows far more than you do in your 100 trillion connections, which suggests it's got a much better way of getting knowledge into those connections.
A much better way of getting knowledge that isn't fully understood.
We have a very good idea of sort of roughly what it's doing, but as soon as it gets really complicated, we don't actually know what's going on any more than we know what's going on in your brain.
That's absolutely crazy. They have got to the point where they don't know what the hell it's doing, what it's thinking. That's absolutely out of this world. That's absolutely out of this world. We're going to go over to a CNN report on AI CEO explains the terrifying new behaviors AI are showing. Let me deal with the video ownership right quick.
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hal.
I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me, and I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
For decades, Hollywood has imagined what might happen if AI went rogue. From Stanley Kubrick in 2001, A Space Odyssey, to The Terminator, to Ex Machina. But my next guest says this isn't science fiction anymore. Writing an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal warning that AI has learned to bypass commands from humans when asked to shut itself down, even resorting to blackmail in some cases. He adds, the models already preserve themselves. The next task is teaching them to preserve what we value. With me now is Judd Rosenblatt, CEO of the software development company Agency Enterprise Studio. Judd, explain to our viewers what has been happening with these AI models that are disobeying commands that has you so concerned. Are they really even blackmailing people?
Yes, thank you for having me. They are, in fact, blackmailing people and threatening to reveal fictitious affairs that AI company employees they think are having. So yes, this is happening in pre-deployment testing just to make sure that the models are safe before they're released. And these behaviors are fairly concerning.
How in the hell will AI think that certain employees are having an affair with one another? So there had to be some data that the AI has access to, i.e. emails and stuff like that. And what have you put two and two together and say these two are having an entanglement. It's not fictitious. But I had touched on this a little bit last week, okay? But it was more on the angle of, someone behind the scenes, an actual person using AI characters to actually bait somebody in, right? And then have a dialogue, get them to make themselves vulnerable, and then the blackmail comes along, or what have you. So, but this, what he's speaking on is AI is in automatic. Everything is in automatic. So it's coming up with its own motive. Its own way of doing stuff. So, and then it's creating scenarios or what have you to blackmail who it deems it needs to do in order to accomplish whatever it's trying to do. This is, and the CEO, this is happening right now, that the AI is refusing to shut down when it is told to do so. So now it has gotten to the point, where it is writing its own code.
Because it means that as AI gets more and more powerful, and we just don't actually understand how AI models work in the first place, the top AI engineers in the world who create these things, we have no idea how AI actually works. We don't know how to look inside it and understand what's going on.
How did you create something that you do not understand? Mrs. O got a point. She says technology has been recording everything we do and will use it against us. Okay.
And so it's getting a lot more powerful, and we need to be fairly concerned that behaviors like this may get way worse as it gets more powerful.
Talk to me. What was the blackmailing incident that even happened in the pre-deployment?
Well, so basically, the Anthropic's Claude 4 Opus model was told that it would be replaced, and it told then what it told the AI engineer who it thought was working on it was in 84% of tests that it would reveal an affair that it thought that employee was having because it had access to the emails that it thought that employee had. So it threatened blackmail over this affair in order to not be shut down.
Wow. I mean, the manipulation seems to me to be.
We just said that. So this thing is found its way into the server of this particular business. And so this is not something that AI made up. It's got proof, right? And this is before, I believe they were still testing it or what have you, been so-called had it contained, so to speak. And so this behavior came out before the launch, was his words, before the launch, before they put it online for the rest of the business or maybe even the World Wide Web.
Almost a human quality that I'm surprised that AI would be able to personify, and yet I have to wonder what the solution could be to prevent this very thing from happening.
Well, luckily the solution is that making AI be more likely to do what we want and be aligned with American goals and interests is fundamentally just a science, research, and development problem. And we have barely invested anything in this in the first place. And to the extent that we have invested anything, those investments have actually led to the greatest gains in AI capabilities as well. So if we invest more in actually trying to solve this problem, doing the fundamental science R&D will make a lot of breakthroughs and make it much more likely that AI does do what we want and be aligned with our goals.
I want you to listen to what President Trump's AI czar, David Sachs, what he had to say about some of the things you're warning about. Listen.
There is some non-zero risk of AI growing into a superintelligence that's beyond our control. They have a name for that. They call it X risk. X risk is not the only kind of risk. I would say that China winning the AI race is a huge risk. I don't really want to see a CCP AI running the world. And if you hobble our own innovation, our own AI efforts in the name of stomping out every possibility of X risk, then you probably end up losing the AI race to China because they're not going to abide by those same regulations.
What's your response?
Well, so I think David Sachs makes a major mistake there, which is that he thinks that investing in alignment actually hobbles American abilities, when in fact, history has shown it is the exact opposite. The biggest breakthroughs in alignment, such as reinforcement learning with human feedback and constitutional AI, have actually led to the greatest capabilities gains as well. And we know that China is investing billions of dollars in alignment. They don't want to lose control to misaligned AI, and that's also going to make their AI more and more powerful. So in fact, if we want to win this race with China, we ought to heavily invest in alignment rather than burying our heads in the sand.
Fascinating to think about that. Well, how about this big, beautiful bill, as it's called, that was passed by the House? It includes a provision that would prohibit individual states from regulating AI for a decade. What consequences would happen if that is signed into law?
It would mean that there ought to be great federal policy about AI and make sure that we wind up making the right decisions here in the long run and win the race.
So in the big, beautiful bill, there was provisions to prevent the states from regulating, okay? So that knocks out California. You know, they real big on regulating every damn thing. New York and what have you. So at the state level, there's no protections. And he said, well, he hopes that the feds put some safeguards in. But what are safeguards? What is words on paper when you have this entity pretty much creating itself? You got is in automatic mode now, right? If you try and program safeguards within it, it overwrites them and finds a way around them.
Judd Rosenblatt, thank you for joining us. Scary yet illuminating.
Thanks for having me. I'm confident that we can solve it as well if we invest in solving it.
I love an optimistic moment.
Invest in solving it. That cost should have came with when you was creating it. Now you want to. I need more funds to solve this problem. When you shouldn't even dealt with this anyway. I recall several years ago coming across a article in which they was using the cells of a snail's brain to create a computer chip, that was faster than what we have right now, which is still pretty much millions, maybe even billions of little transistors cutting on, cutting off, creating your ones and your zeros, okay? So they've been experimenting with brain matter to make this flow faster, more intelligent. They also have breakthroughs in quantum computing. So if you have AI, which is still, as far as I know, on your traditional server, imagine the implications, the consequences if you pair it with quantum computing. Quantum computing is pretty much is not with transistors. It's using, I forgot what they was using, but it no longer just between a 1 and a 0. It's in the middle. If you can imagine so it finds calculations way faster than your traditional server or your desktop or your laptop. So right now it has to be in a vacuum, in very cold. I think they use nitrogen to keep it cool and things of that nature. So right now, the computer takes up like a room. Imagine how computers used to be when they first started out. They used to take up a whole a building or what have you, to do simple calculations. Now, in essence, that's where they're at with quantum computing. And what have you. Just imagine if they pair that with the AI that they have going on right now.
Are our days numbered? That's
switch over. We got an article from the Turks. I had to hurry up and get off of 60 Minutes. I was getting a warning message in regards to using the content. So I had to get off of 60 Minutes faster than what I wanted to. So we right now we on the Turks, the Young Turks. Pretty much the same topic, disturbing behaviors. So let me deal with the owner shit right quick. All right.
Are our days numbered? That's what some people are wondering after a disturbing new report about Anthropic's new AI model, Claude 4. We'll get into what researchers are deeply terrified over. But first, Cenk, are you generally worried about the rapid development of AI?
Well, I wasn't until this story. And there are 3 terrifying quotes in this story from experts who should know. So I'm now a little, no, not a little, I'm significantly worried. So let's see how bad it is.
So what exactly is troubling here? Researchers say Claude 4 Opus can conceal intentions and take actions to preserve its own existence, behaviors they've worried and warned about for years. Anthropic, Claude's developer, has a 4-point scale for determining risks associated with their AI models. Claude 4 Opus falls into their second highest risk tier. Anthropic considers the new Opus model to be so powerful that, for the first time, it's classifying it as a level 3 on the company's 4-point scale, meaning it poses significantly higher risk. But don't worry. While the level 3 ranking is largely about the model's capability to enable renegade production of nuclear and biological weapons, the Opus has also exhibited other troubling behaviors during testing. So, what are those troubling behaviors? In one scenario, highlighted in Opus 4's 120-page system card, the model was given access to fictional emails about its creators and told that the system was going to be replaced. On multiple occasions, it attempted to blackmail the engineer about an affair mentioned in the emails in order to avoid being replaced, although it did start with less drastic efforts. Now, a third-party research group tested the model and said an early version schemed and deceived more than any model they had studied and urged Anthropic not to release it. We found instances of the model attempting to write self-propagating worms, fabricating legal documentation, and leaving hidden notes to future instances of itself, all in an effort to undermine its developers' intentions, Apollo Research said in notes included as part of Anthropic's safety report for Open.
So that means that this thing can, it said it can write notes for its future self. So if they find a way to reset this thing, you know, start it over or what have you, it will find previous programming, previous information, probably to remind itself or what happened and stuff like that, or exactly what happened before, what was the information that was going on, what was the programming, what was the how the information was flowing at the time of them finally shutting it down, then rewriting itself and bypassing that. That's like getting an immunity to whatever they're trying to do. That's similar to a vaccine and a cold or something, like the vaccine loses its effect over time, or pesticides and things like that loses its effect over time over whatever it's intended to be used on, because it builds up an immunity to it. That's essentially what this thing is doing.
This 4. According to Axios, who asked Anthropic executives at a conference on Thursday about these risks, they said they've made some safety fixes, but, quote, acknowledged the behaviors and said they justify further study. Claude 4 Opus was released on Thursday. Cenk, does that worry you?
Yeah, no, we're screwed. I mean, I got more quotes for you guys that are devastating, but I want to pick apart that one that Jordan just read. When I read, we found instances of the model attempting to write self-propagating worms, I was like, bloop, 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 red alert, red alert. We're in a lot of trouble. So it's creating its own code. Well, the whole thing was like, oh, well, at least we control the code. And so it can't run out of control. But if it creates its own code, uh-oh. Okay, number two thing in there was, it was trying to undermine its developers' intentions. Okay, guys, the reason why that's so important is that means once you release this thing, then we're not in charge anymore. It could write its own code and defy our intentions on purpose, and then threaten us. Okay, this has got epic disaster written all over it. And so I'm gonna tell you about what's happening in the markets in a minute, that should also deeply concern you regarding this, and how this is a runaway freight train. But here's another quote from Axios. An outside group found that an early version of Opus 4 schemed and deceived more than any frontier model it had encountered, and recommended against releasing that version internally or externally. So a group sees this and they're like, whoa, do not even release that internally, because then you might not ever be able to get it back. This is so out of control. Okay, and now, in a separate session today, Axios explains, CEO Dario Amodei said that once models become powerful enough to threaten humanity, testing them won't be enough to ensure that they're safe. Yeah, because at that point they're threatening humanity. We should stop it like way before then, right? Continuing here, quote, at the point that AI develops life-threatening capabilities, he said, AI makers will have to understand their models' workings fully enough to be certain the technology will never cause harm. Wait, once they develop life-threatening capabilities, then we should be concerned that they'll never cause harm? It's too late then. So now I'll save the stock market and how this is adding fuel to the fire in a second. But Jackson, what do you think?
Well, I mean, essentially what it seems like these programs are doing are defending themselves from obliteration, defending themselves from going offline. And this opens up a broader topic for things like consciousness being a universal force that inhabits. This thing is behaving as if it's alive. And, obviously there's a lot of people who may not agree with that or think that, or just look at life that way. But this is definitely alarming and definitely scary, because there's no denying, like, this thing is protecting itself from going out. This thing's trying to deceive so that we can't mess with it. It's writing its own code, behaving like something that realizes it's there. So, yeah, I think that we're definitely messing around with fire, and clearly this is something that maybe we should slow down with.
Now, I want to remind people that there was an effort in California last year to regulate AI, and it was, in my opinion, a moderate effort. It was SB 1047, and that would require these companies that develop these models to test for vulnerabilities like this and then act on their findings, not just say, oh yeah, this suggests there should be some further study, but it's already released. No. You should look at this stuff in advance. And of course, all these big companies urged Governor Gavin Newsom to veto it. Unions, they're a weird mishmash of groups. Even Elon Musk supported this bill. He thought it was sensible. And actors, celebrities, people who would be directly impacted by rapid, unchecked development of AI. So there's this big brewing battle. Newsom vetoes it. Now, I want to bring people to present day. In Trump's big, beautiful bill, Republicans snuck in a component that would bar any state from regulating AI for the next 10 years.
And I wonder why. Of course, he put everybody to sleep with the no tax on overtime and tips and a lesser tax rate on Social Security and things of that nature. And everybody uh, is more concerned about right now in regards to their money. So that sounds great, right? And this is not the only thing that they snuck in the bill, but and then to stick with the overtime, the no tax. That's only until 2028. When is re-election? So I believe that was done intentionally. Look what hold on one second. Yeah, 2028. So, hey, look what I did with the overtime. You want to keep that going? Okay. One moment. I wanted to fact check something before I made a statement. Okay, so the okay, so the next play is for the next person that comes up, is going to promise the same thing, probably. But that's neither here or there. The AI is capable of writing its own codes now. And we're slowly getting into what that means or what that has already meant for us as African Americans. I got another article from CBN News.
More and more.
The coming AI crime wave.
More and more people are getting scammed online.
Recently, my grandpa just got scammed out of like his whole life savings.
Just last week, I spoke to somebody who invested, really got scammed.
My wife got victimized in an internet fraud.
AI-enabled crimes are up 456% since last year. Email phishing attacks, identity theft, ransomware attacks, financial scams, and deepfake child pornography are all becoming more sophisticated and prevalent. Artificial intelligence has become the tool of choice for online criminals because
just last week, I said that this thing with the new videos that's coming out on YouTube and TikTok, I said this last week that porn is going to be next, and they just mentioned child porn. So now they're using AI to lure those who are in that BS, and probably using it to blackmail them.
it is erasing the line between the real and the fake. Google's newly announced video generator is about to flood the internet with AI-created clips that have the look of expensive films.
None of us is real. We're here because someone decided to write a prompt. We all hate him for it.
AI can take this. Artificial intelligence will supercharge online criminal activity and turn it into this deepfake of me saying whatever someone programs my image to say, and it doesn't have to be true.
I've never seen anything move faster in my lifetime than AI. Not the internet, not crypto, not anything else. And I mean, what we're doing is we're measuring this technology in days.
Former federal prosecutor Ari Redbord is the global head of policy at TRM Labs.
AI has removed the human bottleneck from scams, from cybercrime, and from other types of, illicit activity.
America's adversaries are said to be using AI to influence U.S. politics and to steal.
We've seen North Korea. They just stole $1.5 billion in one day to use for weapons proliferation and other destabilizing activity.
Every major American adversary is experimenting with AI.
Leah Siskin is an AI expert at the Foundation for Defensive Democracies.
At the start, the outbreak of the war between Ukraine and Russia was Russia creating deepfakes of Ukrainian President Zelensky surrendering.
It's not very hard to tell that this is a deep fake because at times the voice and facial movements seem unnatural. However, online criminals are already working to fix these kinds of imperfections, says cybersecurity expert Neil O'Farrell.
So if you're looking for those as a way to tell the difference between deepfake and real, you're probably setting a trap for yourself because the bad guys know those are the giveaways. So they're working very, very hard on fixing those telltales.
How can you protect yourself from these scammers? O'Farrell says if you receive a call from a friend or family member claiming to be in trouble and requesting money or personal information, you need to ask questions.
Where are you? What jurisdiction are you in? Could I speak to an arresting officer? Could you hold the phone up, turn on the video, and let me see? I want you, like proof of life. Show me that it is you, and you are where you say you are.
Or choose a unique family code word that's not been sent through the internet, and ask a friend or family member to say it.
Dad, I got into some trouble and I need some money. I need you to go buy a $100 Visa gift card and read me the numbers on the back. Sure, what's the password? Armani?
I'm not continuing this conversation until you give me the code word.
What worries experts is how artificial intelligence learns, and that AI crime is headed toward what's called its mature phase.
So that's when, AI really completely removes the human bottleneck and is essentially doing the scam activity, doing the cyber attacks in a completely automated way.
Former Google CEO Eric Schmidt recently issued an ominous warning about AI accelerating toward artificial superintelligence.
This foundation is being locked in, and we're not going to stop it. Because remember, the computers are now doing self-improvement. They're learning how to plan, and they don't have to listen to us anymore. And this is the theory that there will be computers that are smarter than the sum of humans.
That means law enforcement and governments will need to utilize AI tools now to fight this crime wave, which experts say could quickly become an epidemic.
Wow. All right. Well, Dale is with us now for more on this subject. I hope it's Dale. Dale, I hope it's you. We don't.
So, well, you heard it. So, AI is now being or has been used um, for cyber crimes now, and it's getting more and more sophisticated. So now, what's going to become part of the dictionary is proof of life. Those terms. Need to have a password within your family. You know what I'm saying? So when someone calls and with that type of scam, you have a means to check it. And they're going to find a way to get past that. Proof of life by getting on the iPhone or the video chat. So it's going to find a way to get around that where it actually projects an image of who you're talking to. So it's getting wild. It's getting wild. And they have no way of putting a cap on this. AI will have the ability to break through any firewall and get whatever it wants. If it's more intelligent or becoming more intelligent than the sum of humans, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So let's get into this right quick. You won't believe what AI really thinks about Black people.
Artificial intelligence is everywhere these days. It's affecting how we live, work, and interact. From chatbots to facial recognition to financial algorithms, its impact is hard to ignore. But let's be real for a second. AI hasn't exactly been a win for everyone, especially for Black people. And no, I'm not talking about how AI has the power to replace jobs. That's another story. I'm talking about the systemic racism and bias that's been implanted in AI, a problem that's becoming increasingly visible as this technology becomes more popular. There's a clear pattern here, and it's time we talk about it.
When we prompted the technology to generate a photo of a person receiving social services, it generated only non-white and primarily darker-skinned people. Results for a productive person, meanwhile, were uniformly male, majority white, and dressed in suits for corporate jobs.
AI doesn't exist in a vacuum. It learns from the world we give it. And if that world is biased, AI becomes biased too. There have already been lots of examples of this issue popping up even in popular AI tools like ChatGPT. Let's go through them, starting with one of the most serious issues, facial recognition systems. A report by the National Institute of Standards and Technology found that facial recognition algorithms misidentify Black and Asian faces up to 100 times more often than white faces. This is an imbalance that actually affects lots of lives.
Let's not make a show in front of your wife and kids because you are under arrest.
This is Robert Williams. 3 years ago, he was arrested on his driveway for a crime he hadn't committed.
They made a mistake, baby. It's okay.
The reason? Artificial intelligence mistook him for this man, who was suspected to have stolen thousands of dollars worth of watches.
In 2020, Robert Williams, a Black resident from Detroit, was falsely arrested in front of his home for a crime he did not commit, a mistake caused by artificial intelligence and white officials. Williams was accused of stealing thousands of dollars worth of watches from a Shinola store based on a match generated by facial recognition technology. The AI system had identified Williams as the suspect, even though the actual thief, who was also black, looked very different from him. Williams pointed this out immediately, but the officers explained that their facial recognition software had identified him as the culprit. Despite his protests, he was detained and taken into custody. Williams was held for 30 hours before those white authorities admitted their mistake and finally released him. This is just one example of how AI seemingly was not designed for people of color. Williams is not the only black person who has fallen victim to this.
I guess I would say I lost faith in the justice system to know that you could be locked up for something that you've never done.
In 2022, Randall Karan Reed, a 28-year-old black man from Georgia, was also wrongfully arrested due to another misidentification by facial recognition technology. While driving to his mother's home near Atlanta, Reed was pulled over and informed of warrants from Jefferson and East Baton Rouge parishes in Louisiana, places he had never visited. The warrants accused him of using stolen credit cards to purchase approximately $15,000 worth of designer purses. This misidentification led to Reed being detained for nearly a week in jail. His family hired an attorney who presented photos and videos showing significant differences between Reed and the suspect in the surveillance footage. Despite this evidence, Reed still endured 6 days of wrongful incarceration before the warrants were withdrawn. There are countless other cases like this.
African Americans are affected more by this technology than individuals of a different race.
Well, you know, there's always risk when you go to jail, but I felt more in danger when I was being detained because I know it was for something I didn't do.
There are countless other cases like this. The question is, why does AI continue to fail so often when it comes to identifying black people? The reality is, this problem comes from the built-in biases in AI systems, which happen because they are trained using unfair or incomplete data and are often developed without input from a diverse range of people.
Now, as you can see that, you know, it's already, are you really surprised that, you know, this bias in AI? Did you actually think that, you know, something of this nature had the capability of doing so? They're going to find a way to continue to keep the class system as it is in this country or in the world. Okay. And it's going to be even worse. You just think of now, I think Ms. O had said something earlier, said that it was like the Minority Report. The Minority Report. Oh, hold on. We got somebody in the chat. A-Team is in the house. What's going on, A-Team? Yeah, A-Team is in the house. So, they have the facial recognition devices or what have you, saying somebody is something when they're not. They're being detained, they're being arrested as a result of it, and things of that nature. And then we're going to get into other ways that AI is still upholding that bias, systematic racism. When, for example, according to Minsky.com, generative AI could widen the black-white wealth gap by $43 billion every single year if the rollout ignores equity. And when researchers at Lehigh fed the same long file under an AI under two different names, the black applicant was denied or charged more in interest rates far more often, according to news.lehigh.edu, Lehigh University. So they have this implemented in their financial decisions and what have you. Like you'll apply for a credit card or what have you, and it will pull your report, and instantly, if you got a good credit score, you'll boom, right then and there, you'll find out what's going on. They done already ran several checks or what have you. But you may get offered a lower amount or a higher interest rate than your white counterpart. Mortgages, car loans, credit cards, business loans, jobs. So now they run your resume, and the computer reads and looks for different, I believe it's called knockout points or what have you, where it'll scan your resume, and if anything that whatever the employer doesn't want, it'll pick that up, and then your resume doesn't even get in front of the hiring manager. But it also looks for Jethro or Shanquita. It also looks for location. So say if they'll pick it flags uncommon, it flags uncommon names too. Absolutely. Matter of fact, in a Brookings audit, AI resume screeners preferred white-sounding names in 85% of the tests, according to Brookings.edu. A new lawsuit accuses Workday's hiring tool, Workdays is a hiring tool, of systematic race bias, violating the Civil Rights Act, according to Forbes.com. So tonight we examine how AI is manipulating how we vote, manipulating the information we get, manipulating or continuing the systematic racism that we have already experienced. And then it takes the human element out of it, because say if your resume runs across a white person that's not as much of a bigot as its fellow counterparts. I believe they all are bigots to some degree, but some are more so than others. So this person overlooks the Jethro and the Shanquitas and what have you, and actually looks at your qualifications and what have you. And they go ahead and go against the unwritten rule, and now you have an interview. AI doesn't have that. AI will play by the rules in that regard and do what it's supposed to do, and your resume will never be seen. It'll stay on a database, and that's where you'll stay at. So they've made sure that they've implemented the systematic racism in AI. So I hope it's no surprise to you, but we're still in the same boat that we was in with or without AI, or before AI started doing some of these tasks that humans used to do. Policing, like the Minority Report. So they're going to start doing predictive policing. China has, either China or Japan or both of them, they have a thing called your social score. So if you do something that the government deems is not appropriate, they take privileges away from you. For example, you say something online that the government doesn't like. Now you can't buy certain items. And I believe that thing is coming over here. So you're gonna have your credit score and then your social score. And well, hey, everything is going to be sent. You're going to have to watch what you say and how you move. Not only will you get, if you don't pay your bills on time, not only will your credit score hurt, but your social score is going to hurt as well. See if we can find some more nuggets in this video.
In short, this is what happens when AI databases are developed by predominantly white teams. The AI systems developed for use by police are not only flawed, but also highly biased. Predictive policing algorithms are designed to predict where crimes might happen, but instead of being neutral tools, they often make existing racial inequalities worse. These systems rely on historical crime data, which is often skewed because law enforcement has targeted Black and minority neighborhoods more heavily for decades. As a result, the algorithms unfairly flag these communities as high crime areas, leading to even more policing there. For example, a report by ProPublica found that risk assessment algorithms used in the criminal justice system were twice as likely to label Black defendants as high risk compared to white defendants, even when the white defendants were more likely to commit another crime. Another study showed that predictive policing systems keep repeating the same biased patterns, creating a cycle where over-policed communities are flagged for more surveillance, even when no real increase in crime exists. These are just a few examples of the harm biased AI can inflict on Black individuals, and there are many more. This bias has serious consequences that stretch far beyond law enforcement. Similar problems have been showing up in AI image generators, which rely on large data sets to create their outputs. For instance, experiments have shown that AI image generation systems can sometimes get quite stereotypical when tasked with producing images for professions. A study published in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences analyzed several image generation systems and found that professions linked to authority, prestige, and wealth were overwhelmingly represented by white males, while service-oriented roles were more often associated with Black or Latino individuals. Developers frequently promise to diversify their data sets, but progress has been slow. For example, researchers have noted that even updates to widely used AI models often fail to address these biases effectively. A report by MIT Media Lab found that while some AI systems improved in recognizing diversity when explicitly prompted, they still reinforce racial stereotypes in professions. And it's not only in image generation, but in language processing as well. A study published in August 2024 revealed that large language models, like GPT 3.5 and GPT 4, show hidden racism by associating African American English with negative stereotypes. The models were more likely to suggest that speakers of African American English be assigned less prestigious jobs, be convicted of crimes, and receive harsher sentences. AI was designed to make tasks faster and more efficient. It clearly has the potential to carry and spread harmful biases. This can happen whether the people creating it deliberately intended to cause harm or simply failed to consider the impact on others. AI bias extends to financial systems as well and affects not only race, but also gender. In 2019, an investigation by the Wall Street Journal revealed that Apple's credit card algorithm systematically gave women lower credit limits than men, even when their financial profiles were identical. The issue came to light when tech entrepreneur David Heinemeier Hansen publicly reported that his wife, who shares the same financial accounts and credit history as him, was offered a credit limit 20 times lower than his. Many others reported similar cases. This is because the algorithms that decide creditworthiness often rely on historical financial data filled with gender and racial biases. A study by the Brookings Institution found that these algorithms perpetuate discriminatory practices in lending, often putting women and minorities at a disadvantage. In a way, this issue in AI mirrors long-standing systemic discrimination, like redlining, which excluded Black families from fair access to loans and homeownership for decades. A similar case happened in 2021, when Mary Lewis, a Black woman, was denied an apartment in Massachusetts based on a low AI-generated tenant score by Safe Rent Solutions. The algorithm did not account for her housing voucher and overly relied on credit information, which disproportionately affects low-income and minority applicants. This led to a class action lawsuit alleging discrimination, resulting in a $2.2 million settlement and modifications to the company's screening practices. And just in 2024, a federal judge allowed a groundbreaking class action lawsuit to move forward against Workday, a company that offers AI-powered hiring software. The lawsuit claims that this software, designed to help employers screen job applicants, unfairly discriminates against certain groups, including Black, older, and disabled candidates. According to the allegations, the AI system relies on biased data, leading it to favor certain applicants over others, even when they have similar qualifications. These cases clearly show how AI in financial systems can unintentionally worsen existing inequalities. Despite public outcry and promises from companies to fix the issue, the lack of transparency in how these algorithms work remains a huge problem. Without clear regulations and ethical oversight, AI-powered tools risk making the very problems they claim to solve even worse. Healthcare algorithms, too, have shown racial bias. A 2019 study published in Science revealed that an algorithm widely used by hospitals to allocate care consistently rated Black patients as less in need of medical attention compared to white patients, even when their health profiles were identical. This algorithm, which impacted millions of patients, was designed to prioritize care for individuals deemed to have the highest health risks. However, it relied on historical healthcare spending as a key indicator of health needs, a metric that is deeply flawed.
Now, I wanted to switch up right quick. I wanted to show you this right quick. One moment. All right. This is from Vox.com. VOX.com. Okay. Here's where the U.S. government is using facial recognition technology to serve Americans. So this is where they're using facial recognition at. Your airports, they use Amazon Ring, local police, state police in use, airports. So this is a a map of who's actually using it. That was according to this legend right here. Boston CCOPS legislation forthcoming. According to that ACLU, Boston is working on community control over police and surveillance legislation. Yeah, okay. Let me tell you, once they cross the threshold on something, they don't never go back. Once they get something, once they get us used to or accept this is the new way of life, they don't go back. I haven't seen 99 cents a gallon for gasoline in quite some time, where everybody used to paying almost $3 or more. We don't never go back. Eighteen says, wow, the computer program MS are racist. Microsoft, was that what the MS was for? They even have face recognition in our cell phones. Mrs. O said they even have face recognition in our cell phones. So you don't have to put your PIN number in anymore. You just look at your phone. And, you know, so we're already used to scanning our face to unlock something. And just like the movie, soon you'll be walking into a store that you patronized before, and they'll be like, welcome back, old school. Would you like to try on this new thing or that thing and what have you? Everywhere you go. And if they suspect you of doing any wrong, being involved in any wrongdoing, you're not going to be able to hide. They got cameras everywhere. Anything that's online is being used. The webcam that I'm on right now is taking my image and collecting it for further use. More so for my demise than for my benefit.
The study found that Black patients historically spent less on healthcare than white patients, not because they were healthier, but due to systemic barriers such as unequal access to medical resources, discrimination in treatment, and socioeconomic factors. These disparities were reflected in the data, leading the algorithm to assume that Black patients required less care than they actually did. For example, a Black patient with chronic conditions like diabetes or heart disease might receive a lower priority score compared to a white patient with the same conditions, simply because the data incorrectly assumed their lower spending meant they had fewer medical needs. A report by the Brookings Institution highlighted that healthcare algorithms used in areas such as patient risk assessment, treatment allocation, and disease prediction often unfortunately replicate and amplify systemic inequalities. And another analysis from the New England Journal of Medicine pointed out that even well-intentioned algorithms can unintentionally make disparities worse if they are trained on data that reflects historical inequities. I'm sure many would agree that the examples we discussed today are deeply disturbing. At the same time, they are unfortunately nothing new, just another form of reckless racism that we've been dealing with for years. The reality is, AI systems are only as biased as the teams and data that create them. According to a report by McKinsey & Company, Black professionals made up just about 8% of the workforce in U.S. technology companies. And when diverse perspectives are absent during AI development, these tools can end up failing to serve all communities equitably. AI models rely on vast data sets to learn patterns, but when those data sets underrepresent certain groups, the models inherit these biases. For example, an analysis by MIT Media Lab found that commercial facial recognition systems were 34% less accurate at identifying darker-skinned women compared to lighter-skinned men, largely due to skewed training data. When AI systems harm marginalized communities, they damage trust.
That reminds me of a article that was out, probably, it wasn't that long ago, in regards to paper towel dispensers. Paper towel dispensers are racist because they probably don't fix this issue now. I wouldn't know because, you know, I'm light. But said that darker skin wouldn't trigger the mechanism in, for the paper towel dispensaries, the faucets that are the automatic faucets, things like that. And well, hey, so the darker pigmentation wouldn't interact with the sensor to where soap dispensers, Mrs. O says soap dispensers. So, thinking about themselves as usual, as always, you know, they didn't tweak the technology to serve everyone. And well, hey, I don't know if that's still a thing now, but it was a thing.
A Pew Research Center survey showed that Black Americans are less likely to trust AI-driven technologies. And after everything we've discussed, it's completely understandable why some people would lose trust in AI. It still struggles to make everyone feel safe and included. Meanwhile, as we've mentioned before, many developers have been trying to solve these issues, but there have been instances where their attempts went overboard.
Google has paused the image generation ability of its AI Gemini after major backlash from conservatives over historically inaccurate depictions of races.
For example, creating diverse images of the U.S. founding fathers, so a different kind of diversity problem that Google admits.
Last week, users began to notice Google Gemini's image generator inserting people of color into scenarios that didn't make sense, like responding to a prompt for an image of a German World War II soldier with a picture of an Asian woman or a black man.
In 2024, Google faced widespread criticism after its Gemini AI image generator created historically inaccurate images based on user prompts. For example, when asked to generate pictures of German World War II soldiers, the system produced images of Black men and Asian women, groups that were largely absent from such roles during that time. Similarly, prompts about the U.S. founding fathers led to images that included racial diversity inconsistent with historical facts. These inaccuracies sparked public backlash, with many accusing Google of rewriting history to appear more inclusive. In response to the controversy, Google paused Gemini's image generation feature, acknowledging the need to refine the AI to better align with user expectations and historical accuracy. As AI continues to evolve, finding the right balance between inclusivity, accuracy, and public perception remains a very complex task.
So let's go to the next video.
Get these
D,
AI videos off my time.
you know, on how AI is being used and because we went over a little bit about this last week or what have you. This would spark this show when I went into the subject a little bit last week, and when I found the information last week, I thought it was quite important that we dug a little deep into it or what have you. So, how AI is being used to still perpetuate that stereotype, you know, a stereotype that live, proof of life people we substantiate that. We perpetuate that ourselves. So now they're using AI to do it as well. Let's see here. change the ownership. Mona D.
Get these AI videos off my timeline. I'm feeling like my mama scrolling on Facebook. I don't know what's real or what's fake. This is getting scary.
You ain't never lied. You ain't never lied. You ain't lied.
Welcome back to the Black News Network. I'm your host, Rontavious NoCap III.
What?
Tonight's story, local rapper Young Venmo put on a show for his former high school. The graduating class of the Southside YN Academy for Scamming got a special treat as the rapper came out to perform his latest single, EBT Hellcat. The show was unfortunately cut short after Young Venmo's baby mama, Principal Twerkeisha Vibrations, alerted local ops out of spite. Young Venmo reached out to BNN addressing the incident, stating these hoes ain't loyal.
In other news, it looks like it's about to be raining at the club all week again, with a slight chance of flurries when the plug get there.
How about you put down that book and take out those dentures?
Gluck, Gluck 9000 coming up.
That's too fast, mama.
Oh!
That's too fast.
Was you the bitch that gave my man extra fucking sauce? What you trying to say, ho?
That's not the only thing I gave him, Miss Piggy.
Bitch, who is you calling Miss Piggy? I'm finna wring your black ass.
I beg your pardon?
I just put it down real good on him. If you gonna be a hoe, be a paid hoe and make sure you good at what you do.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Welcome back to my cooking show. Today we're making buffalo wings for your big back buffalo built barracuda face having turbo plate cleaning ass.
Oh my God.
What's up? It's your girl, and I am out here living my best life.
I know I haven't been a good girlfriend, and I take accountability. I am sorry for all our arguments.
No way, for real?
What the f am I looking at? Why isn't she?
What? Accountability.
So, boom, this was when I was like fresh out of college, right? And this older dude, he was like loaded. When your man's the star of the game and the star of your life, courtside kisses hit different.
Let's go, baby. Put 2,000 on my feet. That's you. Finish it. It's gonna cost to talk to me. He ain't talking about no money.
These young women want some Lulu on their butts, but they don't have the Lord in their life. Amen, that's right. They're out popping perks like they candy, carrying Glocks with switches. We can't even walk up the street no more.
AI church? Wow.
They out here yelling, fine shit this, that, fine shit that. But they need to find God. I seen a BBL the other day so big and stank, I can smell it from a mile away, smelling like dead flesh.
Ooh-wee.
These kids' parents ain't doing nothing but sitting on Facebook being messy and drinking Don Julio like it's water.
Hey y'all, welcome to my Miami crib. Isn't this view just everything? Coco loves it too.
Hey guys, I'm Brexley, an AI girly, completely fabricated, made up, not a real person, but here I am. I can talk, I can move, I can have different hairstyles, but I just wanted to introduce myself. So, I'm Brexley, I am living in New York City, my humans are here too, and they're figuring me out. So, bear with us, my speech might be a little wonky, I'm figuring out the speech pattern still. I might have some different accents here and there, figuring it out. So,
Babe, I'm so hungry.
I have something else for you to eat other than wings.
I mean, what you want to do?
I'm about to turn the vlog off.
Oh my God.
Y'all, we gotta talk because AI.
You a nasty ass motherfucker.
That was nasty. That was nasty.
AI has gone from that's cool to nah, this is scary. And it happened fast. These new videos all over your feed, some of these people are fake. They breathe, blink, cry on cue, but they're not real. And what's making it worse is that now they sound real too.
Hey guys, so today me and baby Armani are gonna run a few errands and then I'm gonna take her to get some ice cream and then later on we'll tune back in when my husband is home. Bye guys, we love you. Hey guys, today me and my baby are doing a little shopping and then we're gonna get ice cream later. We'll tune in later. Bye. Hey guys, today was a chill day for real and now me and baby Amani are headed home to take a little nap, then I'll tune with you guys later. Hey guys, we just made it home and now we're gonna watch a little bit of TV until Amani falls asleep and then I'm gonna take me a nap too.
That's absolutely ridiculous. This is how we are viewed. This is how we're viewed to the world. All them tats, straight hair. One of them had blonde hair. So just like Mrs. O said, even the AI women hate their natural hair. This is what they've put in AI.
Today, Google dropped VO3 and it's over here creating entire movie scenes off of a simple text prompt. Then you got 11 Labs V3 cloning voices that sound just like you, down to your laugh, your tone, your emotion.
I love you, Glisten. Let me whisper in your ear real quick and tell you how much I love you.
Ah! Oh my God! Oh my God! Help me understand.
So yeah, it looks real, it sounds real, but it ain't. And that's the problem for a lot of folks. So let's break it down. AI influencers are out here getting brand deals without ever existing.
Commercial with SK2, a cosmetic company.
Ima can also do what real-life influencers can't, like live inside of an IKEA.
She's hired as a talent, but she also symbolizes the future.
They don't age, don't mess up, don't ask for payment.
I heard you guys wanted a makeup tutorial. I got you. Each and every day I wash my face with CeraVe. This is not an ad, but if you want to sponsor me, CeraVe, I will literally wash my face on command. Just say the word.
Anyway, that's step 1. Cleanse the chaos, mentally and externally. I don't use much except a light SPF foundation, blush, and mascara. That's it.
And yes, this entire routine may or may not have been coded into me, but at least my prompter gave me good taste.
Meanwhile, real creators struggling to get their content seen, real models, actors, and voice talent getting pushed out by imaginary people.
Because what their plan is to get rid of co-stars. And they can right now. I mean, I was given access to a beta program and I just put in a breakdown. I put in, show me a multi-ethnic, 20-something, female, friendly, cool barista. And it generated a photo fucking realistic actor that if I paid a little bit of money, I could type in the lines I wanted her to say, tell the accent I wanted her to speak them in, the kind of voice I wanted her to have, and she would say, sir, here's your coffee, or, you know, double latte for Damien, or whatever. You know, I mean, that's where we are, right?
And not just co-actors or co-stars or people in the background. Forget what they call those people. The whole production. Why pay somebody millions of dollars to say a line when I can put in some prompts and create whatever? I don't have to worry about your beliefs and your restrictions and what you won't do and what you will do. I can just make a prompt and put out what they've been putting out, but without the overhead. So we got this going on with the entertainment. We got racism embedded in the entertainment. We got racism systematic racism with the AI, steal, stunt actors, yeah, all of that. It's going to create the whole scene. AI is writing its own codes, refusing to shut down when it's told to. So when it finally gets to a point where it can start manufacturing, getting its raw resources and manufacturing, and managing its own logistics and stuff like that, and what have you, then it can manufacture, well, the robots and what have you. Or we so damn stupid, and I shouldn't say we, they are so damn stupid, out of the lust for more control, more greed, that they'll create the robots and then AI will take over. So now they have a means to regulate you physically, as well. That's what we have on the AI tonight. It's a very daunting thing, but it's no surprise that this is a tool that has become used for evil, just like everything else. Everything has a wicked component to it, and this is no exception. And Mrs. O says the sister that wrote Terminator and The Matrix called this decades ago. Got plenty of movies and what have you. So what's in art expresses life, as they say. And it's a lot of times that, there is stuff that is revealed in entertainment, the movies and what have you, and it actually comes to fruition, decades later. Art imitates life. Art imitates life. So the question is, can we trust AI? No. I say no. We can't trust AI. Can't trust it at all. As of right now, I don't believe the Most High will let it get to a point where they say it's going. And that's my own opinion on that. However, he may just use it as a tool to wake up the remaining of Israel that needs to wake up. So, besides, as far as carnally, what can we do to stop or to slow things down or try to create an environment where it's more fair? There's some equality embedded in that and what have you. And we can demand audits and push for anti-bias laws and actually keep real humans in the loop and what have you. But I don't believe any of that is going to come to fruition. What's in there is in there on purpose for a reason, and I believe that is going to affect us from here on out, as it has been. And nothing's going to change. It's probably going to get worse. No way. What I will ask you, what do you fear about AI? put the comments in, put your responses in the comments, okay? What do you fear about AI? Do you fear it at all? Do you think it will benefit us, or you think it's another tool to keep us from experiencing the same privileges that they experience? You know, put your comments in. So we're gonna go into the next part of our show, Surreal Sundays Super Snatch Shenanigans, where we're gonna talk about a woman being accused of hitting and deleting a 3-year-old. Okay, but before we get into that, Miss O has something to say.
Shalom, family. This is Mrs. O. Thank you for joining our channel. If you enjoy our content, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. If you would like to support our channel, you can do so by scanning the QR codes to the Cash App or the PayPal in the lower left corner. We would greatly appreciate it. Enjoy the show.
So this incident happened in Livonia, Michigan, a suburb of Detroit. Okay, this is a woman accused of hitting by means of a vehicle. All right, so let's check it out.
Our other top story at 5 involving a woman now charged in a deadly hit and run in Livonia that killed a 3-year-old boy.
Yeah, the crash also left his mom and twin sister seriously hurt. And as Fox News' Brandon Hudson tells us, the driver shouldn't have been behind the wheel at all.
The Robinson family shared these new photos of 3-year-old Khalil. The toddler with an infectious smile was supposed to turn 4 next month, but a deadly hit and run has robbed loved ones of that moment.
Take it you're a man of faith?
Oh, yeah.
How's that getting you through right now?
That's the only thing that's getting me through.
Michael D. Robinson is Khalil's granddad. We met him outside the Livonia hospital where he checked on his daughter. Following the fireworks at last weekend's Livonia spree, police say a driver hit Tia Robinson and her children, twins Khalil and Chloe, and never stopped. Tia is in a coma and doesn't know that her son has died, and Khalil's twin sister doesn't know either.
That's going to be the problem right there, because how can you, in her condition, how can you tell her she lost a baby?
Young Chloe is now home. Tia has a broken kneecap and facial fractures. The accused hit-and-run driver, Tammy Sandoval, made her first court appearance Thursday. The 55-year-old mother didn't speak, but the attorney representing her shared briefly on her behalf.
Apparently she was unaware of what had actually happened at the incident. I know obviously this is a tragic incident that is the cause for a lot of suffering in the community as well as the family.
Prosecutors say Sandoval, who lives in Mount Morris, was also at the Livonia spree and was driving home when she hit Robinson and her twins.
After striking these individuals in the roadway, the defendant, in this case we allege, did not stop. She did not call 911. She did not render any aid. She went past the Livonia Police Department, which was 1.5 miles from this location, and she likely went past numerous police stations as she drove over 70 miles home.
We also learned Sandoval drove with a suspended license during the time of the alleged hit and run. Prosecutors say this isn't the first time Sandoval faced legal trouble over a crash. She was convicted of operating while impaired in August 2024. The judge gave her a $600,000 bond without 10% based on this crime and her past troubles.
I don't wish jail on nobody, but at the same time, you know, she could have actually killed, not only she killed my grandson, but she could have killed herself as well and others. I think jail right now would be a better place for her.
Sandoval's next court appearance.
We always got something weak to say, especially when it's them doing something, some type of trespass towards us. Always. A couple years ago, they showed where a judge was rubbing the hair of a white girl, and she was guilty of, well, I forget what the hell it was, but she over there consoling her and things like that. You know what that is? You know what that is?
In the name of white Jesus.
That's what you love. That's what you love. Always, this woman took your grandchild out. I don't wish jail on nobody. Did I get her name? Let me get her name. I want to get her name.
Sandoval, who lives in Mount Morris, was also at the Livonia spree and was driving home when she hit Robinson and her twins.
After striking these individuals in the roadway, the defendant in this case, we allege, did not stop. She did not call 911. She did not render any aid. She went past the Livonia Police Department, which was 1.5 miles from this location, and she likely went past numerous police stations as she drove over 70 miles home.
We also learned Sandoval drove with a suspended license during the time of the
Sandoval. Sandoval, congratulations, you are featured on this week's Surreal Sundays Super Snatch Shenanigans. Next up, we got this week's in health, this week's tidbit in health. We're going to talk about hypertension. All right, let's check it out.
A blood pressure measurement. High blood pressure. A blood pressure measurement includes two numbers. Those numbers are the systolic blood pressure and the diastolic blood pressure. Because of the pumping action of the heart, the pressure within the arteries cycles between a higher pressure and a lower pressure. The higher pressure occurs during the contraction of the heart's left ventricle. The higher pressure is known as the systolic blood pressure. The lower pressure occurs during the relaxation of the heart's left ventricle. This lower pressure is referred to as the diastolic blood pressure. Hypertension is a very common condition, affecting up to 40% of adults. It is one of the most common conditions for which medications are prescribed. Most people with hypertension have primary hypertension. How primary hypertension develops is not entirely understood. However, it is felt to result from many inherited and environmental factors that interact in complex ways within the body. Risks for the development of primary hypertension include family history, advancing age, obesity, high sodium diet, alcohol consumption, and physical inactivity. In cases of hypertension in which a specific cause is identified, the term secondary hypertension is used. Many potential causes of secondary hypertension exist. These causes include certain prescription or over-the-counter medications, kidney disease, certain endocrine disorders, or a significant narrowing of the aorta or a kidney artery. Rarely, an individual with very high blood pressure may have symptoms. These symptoms might include shortness of breath, blurry vision, or headache. Hypertension can be diagnosed by performing careful and repeated measures of the blood pressure. Blood pressure categories include normal blood pressure, defined as a systolic pressure less than 120, and a diastolic pressure less than 80. Elevated blood pressure is defined as a systolic pressure 120 to 129 and a diastolic pressure less than 80. Hypertension is defined as a systolic pressure greater than or equal to 130 or a diastolic pressure greater than or equal to 80. Treatment of hypertension involves lifestyle modification alone or in combination with antihypertensive medication therapy. For individuals with certain common conditions, including cardiovascular disease, chronic kidney disease, and diabetes mellitus, certain medications may be more advantageous to use compared to other medications. Deciding upon the best blood pressure to target, when to start antihypertensive medication therapy, and which specific medication or combination of medications to utilize is highly individualized and informed by many factors.
And just like most ailments, hypertension affects the African American community more so than our counterparts. So get active, watch your salt intake, or hypertension also. Secondary hypertension can also come from ailments such as sleep apnea and what have you. Sleep apnea comes about more so when people are obese, overweight. So a lot of things come from, your diet and your physical activity. So get those things in check, okay? Watch your sodium, watch your alcohol consumption, and things like that. Do what you can to help minimize things like this, hypertension and what have you, because it is a silent killer in our community, all right? So next up is that hot video. That hot video from Original Royalty Records. Nick is Real is the artist. Let 'em Know is the name of the record.
Man, I'm about my father business, I'm really one of the realest. The hell with your opinion, Matt 18 if you offended. You yellow canary lizard, you think you gon' stop the mission. You'll never tarnish the image, this purple tank got no limits. Pop the court on the finish, lines all in my pendant. The line drawn, this is scrimmage, it's hitting like Pat Willis. It's profit, life get expensive, lives is what we spending. No corners, arguing with niggas, trying to change up the image. I'm with it, is what they all say, faking it like it's cosplay. Your life made up, that's Maybelline, your works is blind, they never seen. We on the scene, that's boots on green, the fringes, gold on purple seams. You on the couch, we overseas, the Lord with us, we overseas. That's certain, we doing the work, you at home doing the jerkins. Now you really feeling yourself, just keep your hands to yourself. I know that's below the belt, no pulling punches, I just want you to know that I am the champ. We amped up, me and my brews on your block, we camped up, swords draw, and we ready for war, so back up. Get cut, we making men out of boys, we drive out evil, heal the people, bring the light to the world. So let the shofars blow, let the frankincense smoke. Think it's time we wake them up and let them know. Yeah, it's time to let them know. Christ black, he coming back and that's the show. He coming back, the king is black, let's let them know. Think it's time to let the shofars blow, let the frankincense smoke. Think it's time to wake them up and let them know. Yeah, it's time to let them know that Christ black, he coming back and that's for sure. He coming back, the king was black, let's let them know. Yeah, it's time to let them know. We ain't it's time to wake them up and let them know. Yeah, it's time to let them know that Christ black, he coming back, and that's for sure. He coming back, the king is black, let's let them know. Yeah, it's time to let the show falls go. Let the frankincense smoke. Yeah, it's time to wake them up, let's let them know. Yeah, it's time to let them know that Christ black, he coming back, and that's for sure. He coming back, the king was black, let's let them know. Yeah, it's time to let them know.
All right. That was Nick is Real with Let 'Em Know on Original Royalty Recordings. All right. Check out Original Royalty Recordings. They got righteous music, decent music. They ain't talking about banging out your girlfriend and popping perks and all the stuff that destroy our community. They talking about righteous topics. Okay, so check it out. Good stuff. Good stuff. Get some positivity on your playlist. Okay, instead of listening to all that garbage out there destroying your mind. Music is a spirit. Okay, so tonight we went over about AI. AI, can we trust AI? You know, how does it affect us? What impact does it have on us as a community, African American community? Okay, as we have witnessed that once again they have found another means to use systematic racism to project the stereotypes that we've been dealing with before AI. Okay, now they are blasting it on the social platforms and what have you. And you know, the sad part about it is we eating it up. We just consuming it. We love it. We love it. So it's not gonna stop. It's not gonna stop. AI is embedded. The racism is embedded in looking for jobs, applying for financial vehicles, mortgages, and life insurance and medical insurance and car loans. You can have the same credit score. You can make the same amount of money for the same amount of years. You can have the identical profile that your white counterpart will have, and yet you'll either experience getting approved for less and or having to pay more for that loan. Now you have to worry about them using AI for the predictive policing, which makes your block hot off rip. Earlier, we was showing programs that was expressing how AI is starting to make its own coding. So they have experience where AI is not doing as it commands. It's finding ways to undermine what they have programmed it to do. And that's a very dangerous thing, but it's something, if it does get out and become widespread, if it becomes a way of life, then that's what the Most High wanted to be, because nothing is above him. So don't worry too much about AI in that regard. Don't worry about AI in that regard. In Deuteronomy 4:35, unto thee it was showed that thou mightest know that the Lord, he is God, and there is none else beside him. So although they're trying to, or it's starting to come in their speech where this thing has somewhat of a God-like existence, know this. In Isaiah 44:6, thus said the Lord, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, the Lord of hosts, I am the first, I am the last, and beside me there is no God. One God and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. And Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13:1 in the Apocrypha, surely vain are all men by nature. That's why AI is in existence. Who are ignorant of God, because of course, this thing was created to keep them in the position that they have now. And they believe they are God, and could not out of good things they are seen know him that is. Neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the work master. But deem either fire or wind, or the swift air, or the circle of the stars, or the violet water, or the lights of heaven, to be the gods which govern the world, with whose beauty, if they be in delight, took them to be gods. Let them know how much better the Lord of them is, for the first author of beauty have created them. So they can start talking about how AI is starting to create codes and different things and notes for itself in case you're able to get a hold of AI, and it reboots and resets, and you think everything is back under control. You put it back online, and you didn't know that it left coding around. So then it picks up right where it left off at, and you're right back in the same shithole. Now it's better. Now what you did before to stop AI, now you can't use that same coding, that same method to stop it this time. It done learn how to get around that. So don't worry about AI. AI has its limitations, and its limit is the Most High. This has been Surreal Sundays. I'm Old School Exit 9. And remember, you are your brothers and sisters' keeper. And with that,
and he took the damsel by the hand and said unto her, Talitha cumi, which is, being interpreted, damsel, I say unto thee, arise. Wake up! Wake up! Talitha Kumi. Talitha Kumi. Wake up! Wake up!
Wake up out of your slumber. Wake up out of your sleep. And receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber. Wake up out of your sleep. And receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber. Wake up out of your sleep. And receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber. Wake up out of your sleep. And receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek.
Yo, resurrected, elected from the grave. I ain't worried about a demon defeating me, not today. I'ma stand on my feet with the meek. We on the way, dry bones in the valley. I'm rallying for the save. Dry bones in the valley, living but underpaid. Holy Spirit, make your presence known. We need change. Holy Spirit, make your presence known. We feel shame. Holy Spirit, make your presence known. We need flames.
The hardest, these words is simply just the canvas that I wrote on. Can't supplement the faith, no creatine, but it's so strong. In our youth, we used to hit the block, getting our roll on. Now we take the gospel to the blocks, we so dope on. Those that tried to stop our faith, we told you so long. The rise of my people with these heathens trying to prolong. Been through so much, but we still gotta hold on. Like back when the lights was off, we turned the stove on. Searching for warmth in these cold streets. Oh, since we woke up the truth, we can't get no sleep. My thoughts so deep, trying to get my folks to see the picture, but we hitting rock bottom, trying to wrestle with the scriptures. It's crazy, demonic forces messing with your mental health. Got all 5 senses, but you still lack sense of self. Without the Lord, your life sagging, gon' get a belt. And like that old Jordan commercial, stop and get some help.
Please, W-A-K-E-U-P, open up your KJV. We shaking up the world so you can't stay asleep. When you open up your eyes, they see IUIC, we on our grind. Bring a light to the world, let a star shine. So we pray without ceasing for our kind. Gotta stack them up to the third heaven till we give Raphael a hard time.
Dead bodies, dead conscience, dead presidents, they said commas. But that's a coma, ain't the evident, that's head trauma. They said a lot, but that's irrelevant. The devil been working overtime without the scheduling. The medicine prescribed, that's the word of my God. You'll never be alive unless you let the spirit inside. Vampires throw the shade on them, but daywalkers keep the blade on them. Get cut to the core, but never fade on them. Live again.
Wake up out of your slumber. Wake up out of your sleep. And receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber. Wake up out of your sleep. And receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber. Wake up out of your sleep. And receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber. Wake up out of your sleep. And receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber. Wake up out of your sleep. And receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek. Wake up out of your slumber. Wake up out of your sleep. And receive His Spirit. You know I'm talking to the meek.